Just going to do a tutorial on a different balayage effect. This is going to be good for someone who has got lighter hair, in particularly lighter hair towards the end, with a darker root, but sort of wanting to break up quite a blocky effect and also add some tone and give, using the light that's already in it, break that up to give you a real soft, natural balayage effect. The effect will be different, obviously, if your hair is lighter, but just to show you how this technique will work. What I've done is I have ripped some foils. I would say you're probably going to need a good, how many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd say 20. If you rip yourself 20 foils, you need a pintail comb and some section clips. And then I've mixed up 2 colours. Again, because it's a model head, I'm not using colour with peroxide. I'm just using the the colour effects, just so that I can stain the hair a little bit to show you the result, but it will wash out and I can do something else with her hair afterwards. So I've got 6.4, which is rich red, and then I've just got a little bit of 8.1, which I'm going to put on the highlights. Like I say, these are just wash and wash out colours, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to still show you the effects you can get with this technique. So what I'm going to do first, as not to waste product, I'm actually going to just do this on one side of her head. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the darker colour on all of my roots, on all of her roots, should I say. So let's clip this up like this side. The other reason why I like to do just half is because it sort of shows you, it's easy, I can show you a more comparison then afterwards. So we'll get this out of the way. So this may differ to some people, I mean probably not actually, because I was going to say some people might want to do this just from the breaking up point of view. So I'm going to put a colour on her root, but you could use this method by just doing the other colour in the foils without putting the colour on the root, because that will give you a same sort of result by just doing the bit in between, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to put the colour on the root first. It depends what your ultimate result is. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to put the darker colour on all of the roots. But what I'm going to do, if you can see, is I'm not going to put it as close, as low down at the front, because I want it to have a lighter look around the front. So I'm literally going there, and then I'm taking this down, and I'm going to take it down a bit more towards the back. Because that's what hair naturally, I mean, you can see everybody's hair is always naturally darker towards the back. So if it blends out softly, it gives a really nice effect. I think, you know, when our hair is exactly the same colour all the way through, and, you know, as much as I like that real, like, solid look, it obviously looks less natural. So with a balayage effect, usually you're looking for more of a natural result, which is why I always let it be darker towards the back. So literally just doing this on all of the roots. So I've done it in 2 sections. So when you're doing your whole head, as you will, you'll do it in 4 sections. So you go from there to there and there to the top of the ear. And you've done your sections by separating it with a colour. And then you're going to go, so obviously it's going to be much easier if you get your boyfriend or someone to help you. I was actually going to put my gloves on. So I'll just show you there. So as you can see, as I've got to the bottom, I've actually gone a lot higher with the colour. And then at the front, I'm going to make the roots slightly smaller. Literally, I'm just touching the roots at the front because I just want it to have a much lighter feel around the front of the hair. Like that. Okay. Right. Obviously, I'm getting it all over my model, but... Okay, I'm going to take the gloves off now because we're going to use the foil. Now, because we want to get it light around the front and we want to really broken up, we're going to take the sections now diagonal. So I've got my clip here and I'm going to come, first of all, we'll go here. I'm going to clip this out the way. When you're clipping the hair out of the way, don't clip it up into the roots, because if you clip the hair up into the roots, you're going to get this colour on the ends. So obviously you've only coloured the roots, so you just clip this away like that, so it's not touching any of the other coloured hair. So we're going to get a section like this. In fact, on the front bit, you can see I've literally hardly touched it with the darker colour, because I want to really see a lighter section around the front. I mean, like I said, this is literally a wash in, wash out colour, so it's not going to lighten it, but what it will do is it will stop it going darker and just tone it a little bit. So I'm going to put this in like this. Oh, actually, if I turn that a little bit like that. And then I'm going to get my 8.1, and I'm going to just put this, and I'm going to do this one right up to the root like that. This is looking a bit green, but that's fine. And then we're just going to use our comb to help us fold it over in the middle. Job done. Okay, and then we're going to do the same. We're going to go up, because I want to have the front like that lighter. So we're going to come across here like that. Clip it away. Remember not to clip it into the roots. Get your next bit of foil. You're just going to go in here. So up here you can see you've got that little tiny bit of copper on the root, and now we're just going to go right up to near there. There you go, all the way through. What you need to make sure that you're doing, like, if you separate the hair with your comb, you can see whether the colour's gone all the way through or not. So sometimes you have to like push your brush about a little bit so that you can make sure that the colour is actually going through to the underneath hair. And then you're going to just get that out of the way like that. Okay. Then we're going to go next section. Now this section I'm going to do fine, much finer than I did on the front bits, because I want to, this is going to be the darker colour, and like I said, I want it to be lighter at the front. So I've just got a section, this is thinner than what I did in the other section. And then I'm going to go here, and this time I'm doing the darker colour, so I'm doing the copper. So we're just taking it up from there and we're taking it all the way down. If you want to leave the very ends of your hair lighter, you can always just take this down and leave out that bottom bit. It depends what sort of effect you want to go. In fact, what I might do is I might just leave it out of that bit. You can even, although you might get into a situation where you're mixing them up, but if you don't mix them together, you could even just get your other colour and just go on that end there, so that you're just keeping a bit of light on that front bit. So you've gone light all around the front, now you've gone copper, and you've just kept a little touch of that there. But then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to fold that bit first so that it doesn't get on the other hair, and then fold that up afterwards. Okay, and now we're going to go for the lighter, just lighter again. Again, I've gone a little bit thicker with my lighter colour because I want that to be a little bit more prominent around the front, and then I'm just going to blend out almost to darker. So I'm going to go in here, and then I'm going to get my... What you want to do is you want it to sort of meet you want, when you're putting this colour on, you want it to sort of meet the root, but like you want to smudge that with your finger. You don't want to be putting the brush of the lighter one up on that, because it will all mix together, and then you'll get that on that brush, and then it'll all mix together and you'll lose the different colour in the effect. So this one, you just put it up to here and then use your finger just to blend that down like that. Okay, and then we're going to fold that over. Okay, and then we're going to go copper. This time I'm going to do a little bit thicker. I'm going to do now the copper sort of more the same size as the lighter colour that I was doing. So that it's starting to be a bit more even now. And then you're just going in. And then this is going to be a copper one down. I've just done this one all the way down to the end, but again, it's up to you really. Like, you can either leave it out or go all the way down. I will show you obviously the difference in the result afterwards. But I just always think it looks nicer when it is lighter at the front and then fades out anyway. Like I say, if you want to use your comb to just move that about, just to make sure that the colour has gone through to the other side. Otherwise you will end up with it patchy. So that's why it's important, if you've got loads of hair, you're better off doing this like smaller to make sure that you can definitely get the product going through. You could even do it smaller than what I'm doing, but do 2 of each. So you could go, right, instead of doing such a big section, I'll come in a minute, instead of doing such a big section of like blonde at the front, you could go, right, I'm going to do 3 with the blonde, like, which equal 1 thick one, just so you can make sure that the product has definitely gone through to the other side. And then you could go, right, I'm going to do 3 of the lighter one, then I'm going to do 2 of the darker one, then I'm going to do 2 of the lighter one, and then 1 of the dark one, and like fade it out like that, depending on how you want it to be. But basically you can see I've started with a thicker lighter one, and then I'm making them even, and then it will fade out, and I'm going to be like probably just copper towards the bottom. So here I'm going for my lighter one again. So I'm going like this here. So you can see now, as I'm getting nearer to the back, the copper is coming down lower. So what you need to do, like I said, you want to get this up to nearly where the copper is, and then you want to smudge that with your finger so that you're blending it like that, and you're not mixing the colours together on the brush. Oh, getting a bit of a messy. Like that. And then what you need to do is you need to just fold it over here, if you've got 2 colours that are quite close together like that, you need to fold up the bottom one first, and then that, so that you're not mixing them in together. It's just keeping them really separate like that. Okay, and then we'll come round like this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. Underneath here, I want it to be sort of a stronger copper, just because I really think that that looks nice. And bring this down. However, what I think I might do is I might actually leave the ends a bit lighter down here. So I'm going to go like down quite near the bottom with the copper. And then I think just on that bottom bit there, I'm going to get this bit just to tone them ends a little bit, so that they will just stay a little bit lighter. Again, this is a colour effect, so I'm not sure how distinctive these are going to be on the model hair, because I've not actually used them on the model hair before. But then what you want to make sure is that that's blended in there. So again, just do it with your finger. Make sure you've got a towel to hand, something that you can just rub your hands on so that you're not getting it everywhere. So you're just blending that in with your fingers. Fold it over so it doesn't get mixed in with each other, and then fold that up again. Okay, and then we're going to go lighter. So we'll go lighter here. Go again, blend it from the root there with your fingers. And then we'll just go to here so that it's still, you can use those to fold in like that. I'm just going to come here. So they're sort of diagonal, so that way you're just keeping a really nice, it's going to just come back, the colour will come back like that. And then we're going to go, oh, copper here. I'm going to do this one all the way down. Okay, and then we're going to go here. Again, so this is going to be one of the lighter colours. The foil always needs to be matte side up. The shiny side is face down. So then you blend that with your finger. Fold it halfway, and then up. Okay, then we're going to go copper here. I'm going to take that one down as well. So if your hair is too long for the foil, just sort of like lift it up like that. As long as you're using the same colour and you're not doing a different colour on the ends, then you can fold it over like that. Like that. And then I think we'll end on a copper with a bit of blonde on the end, I think. So we're going to go bring that copper down a bit further. And then we're going to use this. Although this is probably not going to change the colour much, this 8.1, because it's not really light enough, but... And then just blend that with your root, with your finger. And that is it. And then fold this bottom bit first so that it doesn't get smudged onto the other colour. Oh, my ears are ringing. And that is what you should look like. So I'm going to leave that on for probably about 15 minutes because it's got no peroxide, it's just a colour effect. In fact, you know, that is quite a good way to try this out as well with colour effects. You know how much I love them, so you can actually just do this and have a play around with tone. I'm actually going to do this as well. I made it on the other side, or I made it on one of the other heads. Doing the same sort of thing with like fashion colours, with Bleach London, or different tones like that. So you can literally put just pieces of colour going through, rather than being like all over pink or all over. You can play around with the colour like that. If you want to do like rainbow type of colour, you can do this, but by just not putting the colour on the root, but just doing what we did through the ends, different colours like that. There's so many things, so I'm just gonna try and keep showing you as many different variations of this type of technique as I can, because I think this is something that is really easy to do at home and that you can have loads of fun with. So yeah, I will show you once it's washed off. Okay, here we have the finished look. I'm so pleased with how this has come out. Obviously we've used the colour effects, so the colour is a little bit more transparent, especially being on a model head. So if you do this with like a L'Oreal castings, you will get an amazing result. You can see where the colour is light around the front, so we can pull that back and you can see the different tones coming down to the copper at the side. And then you come round here. Oh, that's got a bit of a wobbly head. You can see the different colours going through. I'll just section it off actually. Oh, okay, hold on. Can you see that? So you've got your lighter colour, then you've got your copper, then you've got a little bit more of a lighter coming through on the ends there. If you see that blend out, it comes down and then blends out at the bottom there. And then you've got here, you've got more of the lighter and then more of the copper. Like I say, because this is a mannequin head and her hair is already quite copper, like it is a very subtle version of the difference. But if you do this on, like, this is like treated hair, so the colour never comes out quite as strong. But you can see the result that has got. It looks wicked, and that's the side I didn't do. So look how flat and one colour that is, and then you compare it. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that looks so nice. Yeah. So if you have any questions before you do it, then just let me know. But otherwise, I cannot wait to see some of your results with this. That looks absolutely wicked. There you go.